If she had only been ugly.
This is Don Irrera, live from the Laugh Factory. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Tonight we got a show with Mike Marino. Mike, good to see you, my friend.
It's very good to see you. Thank you for having me on the show.
I said to Mike before, when he sat down, he started talking. He goes, he starts talking, just regular talking.
Regular.
I said, no fraternizing with the host. He goes, who's the host?
I don't even know what fraternizing is.
No.
When did you start doing stand-up? When did you have the bug that
1980.
you wanted? And you were in school?
No, 1980. I moved to New York, and I passed at the Improv and Comic Strip. And I used to do an improv group called the Broadway Local, which is a really good group. We had Michael Patrick King was in it, the guy who produces all those, I don't know if it was Whitney or Sex and the City, and we had Lisa Mendy, the one who was the mother of the ugly baby on Seinfeld. Remember her?
Yeah.
Jerry the baby.
Yeah.
Now, have you done any sitcoms?
I've done a bunch of different sitcoms.
Yeah?
I was never on Seinfeld. I was on the Nikki Cox show back in the day. I was on Frasier. I was on Becker.
Really?
I was a recurring character on Party of Five.
I don't
And it was
remember
in
that
the
one.
last year when they pulled the plug on the series.
I don't remember Party of Five. What was that?
It was a drama.
Oh, really? You
I
had
didn't start in stand-up. I was an actor
No
from
kidding.
my teens through my 20s. I didn't
Wow.
get into stand-up until I was 29.
No kidding.
No, I just wanted to be a serious actor. I went to the American Academy in New York.
Get
in
the
fact,
fuck outta
we were
here.
talking to Jamie today in a little bit of a meeting, and he was surprised to find out that I was actually an award-winning commercial actor most of my life.
Really?
I had blonde hair, blue eyes. I never let anybody know that I would talk like this. How you doing? No, I was like, hey, bite these potato chips.
Really?
And I would
what
book
was your
a lot of
fa-
commercials.
What was your most famous commercial?
In the 80s, I did a commercial for United Airlines. I played a Marine coming home from boot camp. Ran for 5 years.
Really?
5 years. And in the first year, I was nominated for a Clio, Best Male Performer.
No
And
kidding.
went down to the Radio City Music Hall to the awards. I was sitting there with all the producers and the directors and all the big shots. And I guess I was 19. So I really didn't even know what a Clio was.
Right.
I just knew I was making a lot of money for a 19-year-old kid.
Mm.
And
That
Chuck
might-
McCann won for Dr. Pepper.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
It's misunderstood, that soda.
But after the commercial was running for so long, then I just started booking things without even leaving my house. Does
Yeah.
Mike want to do this? Does Mike want to do that? I was a
that great?
spokesperson for a Philadelphia supermarket, Gennardi's Supermarkets.
Wow.
Do you remember Gennardi's?
I remember the name, but I don't
It was
remember
a family business, a supermarket like the Ralphs.
Right, right.
And I never had been to one. We used to shoot them in Manhattan.
Uh-huh.
And I had to train to lose my Jersey accent so I could speak clearly.
Oh, really? The North American dialect?
Right. How now, brown cow.
That's very good.
Right.
I had a RC Cola commercial, and it was so much of a bigger deal than any of the shit I've done since to my family, because it was the first time I was on national television. And they'd hear the lead-in music, and they'd go, "He's on!"
Right.
And the women, they'd run in, and I didn't even say anything. I had like mussels, had a guinea tea, and I would take bread out of an oven or pizza or whatever it was, and then I'd just go like this. Right? That was it. Made a shitload of money, but I only did a few commercials. But you did do you still you don't get residuals now?
No, I haven't gotten residuals on any of that stuff in a long time.
You ever
My
do
most recent commercial was an endorsement. We shot about 3 or 4 different spots, and they ended up not liking the campaign, and they didn't run them. But it's a different ballgame now because they saw me doing stand-up on a television show, and I got booked from that. Then I got the endorsement, and they pay you up front, and you can do whatever you want for
They buy it
a
out?
year. They bought it out.
Right.
Whereas back in the 80s and the early 90s, the residuals was
Oh, yeah.
was great. But it's
Yeah.
just not that way anymore.
No, you don't make as much anymore. I mean,
I would assume most commercial actors are not going to make that kind of money because the internet and non-union projects.
Right, right. Well, what does the internet have to do with it? Because they put
They
commercials
put
on
it
the
on the
internet?
internet and exploit the crap out of it.
Right, right.
Whereas when you did a commercial back then, you saw in your paychecks how many times, when did it
Isn't that
air?
amazing?
Yeah.
Now, did you
Somebody
ever,
kept track.
Did you ever get money for when they use your voice, when they use your stand-up on FM shows and Sirius and all that?
No.
Because there's a way you can get that,
I heard
It's
about
called
it.
the
I mean,
Sound Exchange or something.
I'm still a little behind the times when it comes to the internet.
Yeah.
I had the one clip from Comics Unleashed went viral. It's at 3 million views now.
Really?
I didn't make a penny. So then I took all my other clips because it's on the channel, and they started getting the hits. But because of some of the clips came from shows that I did that are in stores, I guess they got the money. I don't
Oh.
own the rights to my own act
Right.
within that show.
So you like stand-up better than acting, or what do you like better? People always ask me that.
The adrenaline of doing stand-up is just not replaceable
No.
as being an actor. And when you're an actor and you're working on a show, yeah, it's great. You're working as an actor, but they got the word cut. Do it again.
Yeah.
We're live.
Oh, yeah.
No choice. Do or die. That's
Yeah.
adrenaline.
I know. I love it. But I also love the fact that, like, I prefer stand-up in clubs more than theaters or more than TV. I really like the live interaction in the clubs. I really like seeing people and fucking with them, and
Right.
they know they can feel your vibe that you're kidding. And theater is too staid to me, and TV is too contrived. Have you done Craig Ferguson or any of those shows?
No, I've never been on Craig Ferguson.
No, because he's
I've
one.
never been on Craig Ferguson. We'll have to make that happen.
Let's get Mike Marino on Craig Ferguson. Is that your real name, by
Day
the way?
off.
Is that your real name?
Yeah, my middle name's Dominic.
Well, you told me that once.
Yeah. Dominic. Or Dominucci.
Michael
My
Dominic.
grandfather's name was Dominic.
Is Dominucci?
It's an Italian way of saying Dominic.
Yeah. I've had that a lot. I don't know. I never knew what that was. It's funny.
Yeah, my real name would be Michael. I say Mike. Yours name is Dominic. They say Dom.
Yeah. My name is Dominic John Joseph Irrera.
John Joseph.
John being my baptismal name, Joseph being my confirmation name, Irrera being my father's name, who left us when I was in second grade, that cocksucker. Excuse me for getting emotional on you. Do you come from a nuclear family?
What does that mean?
Like, are they physicists? No, it means like they had like a mother and father and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of comedians
school.
don't.
Old school. My parents is just as crazy as they've ever been, and nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
Old school. Still got pots and pans and an oven in the basement, and nobody's touching the upstairs kitchen. Ain't happening.
What do you mean? Nobody cooks there?
You can, but they'd rather cook downstairs
And carry it up?
and carry it up,
You got brothers and sisters?
which drives me nuts.
Why?
Why would you do that?
I
You're
don't
eating
know.
up here anyway. Stay here.
Doesn't make sense.
No, it don't. But they all do it, and everybody in the neighborhood does it.
Really?
Sure.
Not to get the house smelling of food, maybe?
I don't know, no. They want the house to reek of sauce or gravy is what we said.
I know what you meant. We never called, I don't know what we called sauce. That would be like something like, gravy was, because we even said gravy for brown gravy.
Right. So do we.
Yeah.
The biggest debate amongst Italians is, is it sauce or gravy?
Well, you know it's gravy.
Well, they would say gravy for what you put on meat. But gravy, my family would say gravy was the red sauce because she made it from meat. Meatballs, rajol. You getting hungry?
Yeah.
Pork chops.
I like the white sauce with the clams.
That I didn't like.
Right now? You don't like
No.
the crustacean?
I'm actually allergic to fish.
You
I
are?
don't want to have nothing to do with that. On Christmas Eve, I left.
You can't eat fish?
Left.
No seafood?
I don't want to know anybody else is eating it. I couldn't look at somebody eating a lobster. I have to leave.
Really?
For real.
So what do you eat, steak?
Not really big into steak, but, I like chicken. I like meats. Steak's a little heavy.
Little heavy. Fucking, yeah.
Yeah, very heavy.
Can't get much heavy. You might as well put a clamp on your
Right.
aorta.
I like your chicken cutlet parmesan or chicken cutlets. I'm getting very hungry right now,
Me
quite
too.
honestly.
I like the chicken cutlets so thin you can see
Right.
through them. I don't like thick.
Thin.
Everybody goes, yeah, it's like
Filleted
this.
right down the middle.
I
Make
love
two
that.
out of the one.
Welcome to
I'm
Dom's
a pretty
cooking
good cook.
show.
I don't know about you.
No, I'm not a good cook.
I'm good.
I had a French Canadian girlfriend for 10 years. She fucking was like a chef. I didn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I didn't learn shit.
My father can't cook. My father just can't
What-
do nothing in the kitchen.
what did
It's
your
the
father
strangest
do?
thing.
What did he do when you were a kid?
Construction.
Oh, yeah?
I grew up in construction.
Yeah,
Both my brothers are in construction.
and you know how to do that shit?
Yeah. I could put a house up and take it back down
Really?
from scratch.
I couldn't do one fucking thing.
Yeah. I actually relax at Home Depot.
Really?
Oh, I love going there. I tell people what to buy when I'm in there.
Really? You're that good?
Actually, there was a Home Depot in New Jersey because I have a house there and I've been remodeling it. I was doing a bathroom myself, replacing all the tiles and taking out the plumbing. So doing everything myself because I know how. So I'm checking out at the counter and some guy, brother, I don't know if I could do his voice, maybe I could, just looked at me and goes, "Man, you got to be kidding me."
Why's that?
And that's what I looked at him and
Oh.
said, "Why? What are you talking about?" He goes, "What are you doing in here, man?" And I'm buying supplies. He goes, "Am I being punked?" And I go, I'm remodeling my bathroom." He goes, "Come on, man, I know who you are." And I'm like, oh.
He knew who you were
Yeah,
as a stand-up.
I'm a comedian,
Right.
but
So you're not supposed to
I
be...
remodel my my stuff anyway.
That's pretty funny. That's funny when you get recognized and you don't expect it.
Right. Plus, you're in construction clothes, you had paint, my hair was all jacked up, I had a hat on, a big, and I'm just like trying to figure out what I'm about to buy and what I'm about to do.
I get so fucking tired doing stuff like that. Like, I could play basketball. When I was in shape, I could play basketball for all day. But, like, one time I went to paint, and I went, this isn't bad. And after about a minute, I go, fuck.
Yeah.
It's tiring. And
Sure.
And the construction, the lower you are, the more shit you have to carry. And I had to carry, like, all these things up the steps. And there was no rail on the steps. It was fucking dangerous. I hated it. But it relaxes you, huh?
Yeah. Like if you had a small project that you were doing on your house, if you had a room you wanted painted or you were doing some kind of remodeling and you said, "Mike, come over, help me out," by the end of the day, I'd shock you. And I
Really?
would do it because I enjoy it.
You know Paul Reiser?
I know of Paul Reiser.
Okay. He calls me up one time to come over his house, right? He needed help with the wiring.
Right.
So he calls me up. Now, I thought the guy knew me. We were friends from stand-up. And he asked me for help with the wiring. I said, "I don't know how to do it." He goes, He says, "But you're Italian."
Oh, yeah.
I go, "Paul, you're Jewish. Make
my
11
taxes.
Yeah, do my, right, thank you. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't know any of that stuff. And my
Wiring
grandfather...
is hard.
Well, I mean, anything's hard for me. I mean, my grandfather was a cement layer.
Right.
That's a tough gig.
It's
My uncle-
hard on the body, but I
Yeah.
can do it.
My uncle was an iron worker. My other uncle was a tile setter. My father was a Marine. So that's what I come from.
They're tough guys, but that's kind of like where I find my stand-up. My family really does sound like I do. My family really does act the way I portray.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And it's enjoyable, too. I mean, I did a joke that I didn't know the word fuck was a dirty word till I moved to California. I thought it was like the word the.
Right.
And you just say it all the time. Because if you don't mean what you're saying. Because the inflection of the word fuck took it to another level. Otherwise, you didn't really care.
Yeah, right.
So I would say to, people, "Oh, you look good," and they would think I'm lying to them because I didn't put nothing in
Right.
it. But if I said, "You fucking look good," well, you definitely do.
Well, you look good. You look...
Right. There's a difference.
I like when they put it in the middle of the word. I was beauty fucking full.
Yeah.
Beautiful fucking
I like
full.
that, actually. That's good. And a
But-
lot of people do that. But
You
when
can
I go
use-
home to visit my family, when I get away from California, I go to New Jersey, my brother curses constantly and doesn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
To him, he's just talking.
Yeah.
It's part of the conversation. If he left it out,
Right. Well, it's a very Italian thing. It's a very black thing. The black thing is to say motherfucker.
right.
And I had a bit of my act about that where, and this is, not that it matters for the record. It was a true story. But we're driving, me and a friend of mine, black guy from Mississippi, we're driving to watch football at Rick's house. And he says something motherfucker. I said, "Mike, do you realize how much you say motherfucker?" And I swear to God, he goes, "I don't say motherfucker that much, motherfucker." He didn't even realize he was repeating it. It was so part of him, But just colloquial. You don't mean it. You don't mean
No.
fucking somebody's mother.
No.
Of course not.
People would even ask me, how did my mother talk? And she used to curse all the time
In Italian or English?
in English.
Did she speak Italian?
She spoke fluent Italian, of course.
Yeah.
Well, my mother was born in Italy. All my mother's brothers and sisters were all born in Italy. My father was born in New Jersey.
Uh-huh.
My father's also from a hardcore Italian family.
So you're
We're
100%
light-skinned and
Italian?
blue-eyed. Yeah.
But you're from Northern Italy?
Supposedly that's the theory, but my mother's family's from Campobasso, which people had dark hair and dark eyes as well.
Yeah.
The whole theory is that we have a Swiss influence.
Right.
That may or may not be true. You never know.
Well, you do see more lighter people in Northern Italy.
Yeah.
Do see more blondes and stuff. I mean, I have, you know.
My mother's got a crazy family history. Her oldest brother died before she was born, and he had 2 kids. And he died of the flu at 21. But he had 2 kids, and the 2 kids lived with the mother in my grandfather's house in Italy. When they got older, they came to America, and they met my mother, who's their aunt. But they're older than her.
Right.
And now she's meeting this part of the family. And the lady, I guess my aunt, never got married again. She loses her husband. She was, 19?
Wow.
She wore black her whole life.
Really? Oh,
Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Comes to America at 80.
Imagine how dried out she was.
Yeah, I was thinking that, actually. I shouldn't be thinking things like that.
No moisture, no wet.
No need, no want. Why would you? Nowadays, people don't even wait for somebody to die, and they're on to different people.
Yeah. If somebody looks a little pale, they go out fuck somebody else.
Right.
They have
an idea of being sick. Oh, I better go get somebody else.
That is weird at 19 to think of putting that, being a crepe hanger your whole life.
That's it.
Is she around? Maybe I'll give her a shot.
No. She died at 98.
Better yet.
98. You wouldn't have had to work so hard. You might have had to deal with her brothers. I don't
want to do that.
Could you imagine? Celibate your whole life? Your whole life.
Well,
she had sex twice, 2 kids.
Is that true?
I don't know. I'm just making it up. And one of those kids' names was Dominic.
Really?
Another Dominic. My cousin.
Little Dom, big Dom.
Cousin Dom. Man, he's in his 80s.
Cousin's in his 80s?
Yeah. I have a cousin in his 80s. I like doing the family history. I like figuring out where all these people are from.
I know when my family came over from Italy, my grandfather's side, my mother's father, half of them went to the U.S., half of them went to Argentina.
A lot of my family's in Argentina. Can't even find them.
Yeah. Well, see, the name is Marchetti. I think it means market in Italian. The other, my surname, is that what we call it? Is Irrera, obviously. So that's Sicilian. Means giant prick. No, I don't know what it means. Iron hand, I think.
The show you're getting ready to go do in Montreal, to the Italian folks.
Right. I'll be in Montreal in March.
Montreal in March. Go
See
it. It's a great place.
Vive le Quebec live. Oh, no, you don't want to hear that. Huh.
Those guys put together great shows. And I just did it. I did it with Wheels Parisi. We went out there. We did the Italian show. It was a lot of fun. They put on a great night. And everybody in the room is fluent in Italian.
Oh, really?
And they love to pick on the American Italians.
Why
don't you speak Italian? Why don't you speak Italian?
It's so stupid they didn't teach us, isn't it?
Right.
You know why they didn't teach us?
You might have the same reason I have.
Well, my
mother used to say, don't speak Italian. Don't let anybody know where you're from.
No, we didn't get that Italian on it. Ours was they wanted to Americanize us, so they don't want us to be greaseballs.
Right.
Greaseballs, fucking greaseball. One of the most beautiful languages in the world, and we were deprived of learning it because they're fucking idiots.
I could have been fluent. I could have been bilingual.
Yeah, you know how cool that is?
Yeah. I remember my mother used to say to me and my brothers, you look so Irish, don't say nothing to nobody. And we were in an Italian neighborhood.
Right.
And some of the kids did speak Italian, but mostly they were all told the same thing. Fit in.
Yeah, fit in with
Don't let
what?
them know. Don't let them know. I'm like, Ma, the war's over. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Spanish, they embrace their language.
And they do in Montreal. And everybody speaks
French,
Italian.
yeah. Oh, the Italians.
Yeah.
That Italian neighborhood, I know which neighborhood you're
Right, well, you know, also from the festivals, but these guys are going to take you to Little Italy and everything, and we had just a great time.
Yeah.
And funny enough, the last time that I just went out there, I found out that my mother had been in contact with a a relative that we're not familiar with. And my mother's father had 2 brothers and a sister that went to Montreal, and we just mentioned it, Argentina.
Oh.
So here, 40 years, some lady finds my mom and says her name is Antoinette Berardo, and my mother's name is Antoinette Berardo. And she said, I think we're related. Was your father this person? Was your grandfather this person? And they are from a town called Doronia in Campobasso. And she said, yes. So after all these years,
Wow.
I'm doing stand-up in Montreal.
Oh, that's
and the lady
cool.
says, can I talk to you? And I says, what's up? She said, I'm your cousin.
Wow.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, that's cool.
3rd generation.
Uh-huh.
And I met them.
What was her last name?
Berardo.
Oh,
Which
Berardo.
was my mother's
Okay,
maiden
that's-
name.
Right. Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, that's something.
Yeah. I've met a couple Irreras. There's not many. Not many, and I don't know what the genealogy is as far as how far back the name goes or anything. Because I think Marchetti might have been a made-up name, because it means market. So they might have dropped their real name. I don't know.
This lady had done one of those family trees. Went back to the 1800s.
That's so fucking cool.
She
I gotta
found
do
it
that.
all the way back to the 1800s.
I want to know where all this talent came from that I embrace. This gift.
Right. I'm trying to figure it out.
Me too.
There could be a story there.
When I watch you on stage, I go, where did all this talent come
Where
from?
did that come from?
What kind of
He had to have made that up. It couldn't be
Nobody
real.
could be this good on their own. He's blessed.
I actually just was working on a movie last year. And I really wanted to play the killer. It's a thriller movie, like Saw. I went down there to read for the movie, and he goes, you know, for a comedian to play a murderer might be a great idea.
Yeah.
And a celebrity came in and took the role.
Who?
I forget what the guy's name is. I don't know who he is. But celebrity. So now I'm the cop. I went from a small role to the co-star.
Oh, now you got it?
I'm going to be the cop now.
Oh, you're a cop. I thought you
All
said,
over again. This is my 4th movie I'm a cop.
You look like a cop.
That's why I keep getting... Just once I want to shoot somebody.
Just once, I'd like that fucker. You know Butch?
I get shot this time.
Isn't it funny how you look like a cop? Like, whatever it is about certain looks. You know Butch Bradley?
Yeah, of course I know Butch.
I don't know if I did this on this show before, but I always called him Chuck. Right?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. I thought his name was Chuck. So a couple years, I think I did this already, but I just got to tell you this. A couple years go by, I'm calling him Chuck. His brother is a fan of mine from Philly. He says, Tom, do me a favor, my brother's here. My name's not really Chuck, it's Butch. I go, why don't you tell me that? I said, I would never be that rude. I thought your name was Chuck. He goes, don't worry about it. I look like a Chuck. I look like a Chuck. What the fuck's a Chuck look like?
He does look like a Chuck.
I know.
He looks like his name would be Chuck.
But-
And Butch is just a nickname.
Yeah.
Maybe it is.
Nah. How embarrassing, though. Somebody, like, just tell me. I mean, even though I'm a huge act. I
You look like a Dom, though.
I look like a
You
Dom.
look like a Dom.
I do. It's so funny, when we were in Italy, we were in Umbria, and my girlfriend we had a great, the guy who owns the festival, Gilbert Rozan, he invited me to this villa that he rented. It was incredible, like a miniature village that like 40 people lived at in medieval times, 40, 50 people, that had their own chapel and everything. And I just stayed up there. They had great pool, everything. But my girlfriend would go into town, and she goes, you got to come into town. There's so many guys with your face. Right? So I went into town. I see all these Guido mugs, these big fucking sad mugs with faces. Hey, my boys. It's so frustrating not be able to speak Italian.
When I was around 21, 22, I did a TV commercial for 30 days in Rome.
Oh, yeah?
Join the Navy, see the world. Had 6 actors out there. And
30 days.
the all-American boys running up and down the Spanish steps, going down to the beach. And before I went, I knew that I was going, so I spoke with my mother in Italian as much as I could, because this is going to be my first time in
She'll
Italy.
finally teach you now?
Well, she was teaching then.
Yeah.
This is how you say, and this is how you say. So when I got out there and I was in Rome, I would go order some food, and I would say, hello, how are you? And people would look at me and go, do you speak English? I said, yes. Speak English. I don't understand your dialect. Because supposedly my family speaks what they call Mountain Guinea,
Oh, really?
a dialect so strong that other people don't even understand it.
No kidding.
So in
Yeah,
Italian, if you
that's
would
weird.
say come se dice, I guess.
Come se
it's
dice,
correct.
like-
Yeah, we'd say che dici.
Oh, okay.
So I thought it was proper Italian.
Right.
Then when I got out there, I was like, what?
Yeah. Well, I didn't realize how little I knew until I went there, because we spoke broken Italian. Like, I mean, like I didn't speak it, but I mean, I understood. You forget Lugan, like the dog, and all these words we knew, but we mixed it with English.
Right.
So I didn't, so when I thought I knew more Italian than I did till I went to Italy, where there's no English in the middle of their sentences,
Right.
to help you out.
Mostly the Italian I knew was things you ate or nasty words.
Oh yeah, we all knew the curse words. So yeah,
Right.
I knew Lugats when I was fucking 3. Ragazzi get the frega, fangul.
Right. Yeah, I never even heard the term manicotti till I moved to California. I said,
What's-
well, what is that? Manicotti,
Manigot.
they eat, monogots.
Yeah. Did you ever have Gaspels?
I don't even know what it is.
Oh, it's like a crepe with escarole and what are we doing? He's talking about fucking
Scarole.
food. Scarole. And with the little meatballs, fucking delicious.
Right.
They chop the crepe up, put cheese in the middle. Oh,
I didn't even like scarole that much. Escarole.
It's good
I
for
never
you.
even know it was called escarole. Scarole.
Scarole.
Scarole and beans.
Lugats. It really was vulgar though when you think of like how, I don't know about you, but my grandmother used to talk about like ramming a dick up somebody's ass, and
Right.
but in Italian, which sounds like opera.
Sounds like, yeah, it's actually nice.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
She wouldn't say, we never would curse like that in English. We would never say fuck in the house in English, but fangul was all right.
Oh, yeah. Isn't it fun talking to the older people? Like my aunt, before she passed away, she was in her 90s, and you would ask her stories about what was it like to go to school in Italy. And she would say things like, I took the fucking ass. What?
took
The
the
fucking ass.
What the fucking ass?
She rode a donkey to school.
Oh, did she
She
really?
would go like this, meaning she was hitting it with a stick to get there. But who would know?
Yeah, yeah.
Who would know what that meant? The
I took
fucking
the-
ass.
She really rode a donkey to school?
Yeah. Yeah, mountain guineas. They lived on the mountain.
Yeah, mine did too. Then a sissy, I think it was.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah?
I forget. I know Sicily, Messina, Abruzzo. You know where that is?
Yes,
Right
Northern
across.
Italy.
Well, it's kind of like across from Rome, like
Oh.
a little north, but still center on the Adriatic.
When we were doing these commercials in Rome, they were supposed to be the biggest Navy campaign ever. It was the first time they ever spent $1 million on one commercial.
Trying to sell people to join the Navy?
Yes. Join the Navy, see the
Hey,
world.
you look like a Navy guy, too.
I did.
You look like a Navy guy who
You know what's
became
really
a
funny,
cop.
too? After all these years, the guy who played the captain in the Navy commercial was the captain in the police department in the movie we just did.
Really?
Yeah, imagine that. Haven't seen that guy in all that time, and there he is.
Holy shit. Hey, how you doing?
Right.
What's
You
going
remember
on?
me? Yeah, Mike.
Did he remember you?
Yeah. So when we were done doing those commercials, it was set to air, and the Achille Laurel got hijacked out of Italy. It was a naval ship,
Oh, yeah.
and they pulled the campaign.
So you
No more.
lost all those residuals.
No residuals.
Wow.
Got the 30 days to be in Italy.
You just got paid scale for 30 days?
Yeah, but we treated like gold. And unfortunately, I was actually on As the World Turns at that time.
You were a regular?
I was a recurring character on As the World Turns in a vignette with Meg Ryan and Marissa Tomei. And I was one of the troublemakers.
Oh, yeah?
And they weren't renewing my contract. They didn't know if it was going to happen or not.
Right.
Then I got the offer to go to Italy. So I said, you know what, I'm 21 and 20, whatever it was. I'm going.
Yeah.
And I left. I came back. I didn't have my job.
They wrote you out?
They wrote me out.
Did you get killed?
No, I didn't get killed. They just got rid of these segments.
Oh. I played a priest on All My Children once.
Yeah.
And we got the giggles, right? You know, Susan Lucci?
Well, of Susan
You know,
Lucci.
okay, it was Susan Lucci and whoever she was marrying and me. It was a dream sequence. And I was a priest. And I would go, body of Christ, blood of Christ, body of Christ, blood of Christ. And we, it took us so long to shoot it that I started going into characters. I would go like, body of Christ, blood of Christ, body, and we were fucking crying, laughing, because it was a dream sequence. It had like steam coming up. I guess dreams have steam in them,
Right.
smoke, whatever. But that was my first national TV anything. It was an under 5.
Oh yeah.
So I couldn't say anything else but body of Christ, blood of Christ, because you're
They
not
have to give
supposed
you
to say
more money.
They have to pay you more if you say, boy, that was the body of Christ, Jesus Christ Almighty. You can't say any of that. You just got to,
I remember that they had the under 5 rolls, something
Does
with
that
an
still
8,
exist?
and then the day player.
Does
and the
under-
reoccurring. I don't have no idea. I have no idea.
I remember my friend O'Hanlon's mother said to me, like, it's so fucking easy. She goes, why don't you just do a soap opera till you get like a real acting job? Like that, like it's my choice.
Right.
Yeah, I'll just be a little more handsome and a little more talented and get a...
How do you actually deal with that? Being in the business this long, doing what you're doing, and then I get people come up to me, and I'm sure you've had somebody say this to you, hey, why don't you do the Tonight Show?
Oh, yeah.
How come you're not on The Sopranos?
That's
you
sort of,
think you would
know.
be good on The Sopranos.
I got that all the time,
Yeah.
The Sopranos. I'm sure you did too.
Yeah.
But like we never thought of it. The Sopranos. Why didn't I think of that?
Yeah.
Because I doubt that they can find an Italian actor in the New York, New Jersey area.
No.
Why don't they come out
They should
here?
Come all the way out here. Yeah, why go to a casting call? You can call me direct.
I would have people say stupid shit to me like, you're funnier than Brett Butler.
Yeah.
Why don't you have a series?
Yeah.
What the fuck's that have to do with it? Funnier than Brett Butler. That's my key to unlock the show business,
Yeah.
the puzzle.
You know what you should do?
Yeah, right. If you were smart.
You know what you should do? If I were you,
Yeah.
you're really good. Why don't you do And I would say that too. Really? That's a great idea.
Yeah.
I watch stand-up every night, and I never thought going on a Tonight Show would be a good idea. I just thought that's good for them.
Now, have you done that show?
A long time ago, I auditioned to do stand-up on...
With Jimmy Brogan?
No. Jimmy Brogan was actually writing on the show when I went on.
Oh, you did go
But
on.
I went on as a sketch player
Oh, okay.
because they had this casting session, and the people were auditioning for different type of shows. So I went in there, and I figured the guy was the casting director from The Tonight Show. I'll do a stand-up set. So I did a stand-up set, and he said to me, look, I don't cast the stand-ups, but I can give you sketch comedy. You want to do some sketches on the show? You'd be great.
Was this Carson or Leno?
Leno. So I ended up doing a ton of sketches on the show.
Oh, yeah?
I was always on the show.
Oh.
Got to the point where half the time I think Jay told the casting director, tell Mike to come down. It's fun when Mike's around. So you did the ones in the afternoon where you made things up, and then you did the ones that were live. You were a plant. There was a plant many times in the audience setting him up for a joke.
Oh, you did that stuff, yeah.
Right. And then he found out that I was a comic.
Did that hurt you or
And he
help
said
you?
to me, why don't you do the show? I didn't know you did stand-up.
Oh.
So they put me through a couple of auditions, and then when Ross and Reed or whatever took over, it just never happened.
It
They
never
started
happened?
saying he's not right for the show.
Wow, I couldn't
He's not
imagine
right for the
anybody
show.
more right. You're perfect for the show because you do a lot of, you do so much material.
It's the oddest thing, and I guess you know what this business is like, because I eventually called my friend that was the casting director who gave me all this work. I mean, tons. 10 years of doing sketches on the show.
Wow. I didn't realize
So he
how-
said to me, he goes, I think it's an ego thing here because I discovered you and they didn't. I go, why don't you all get together and say he's from the show, let's put him on the show. He's already from the show. We did a skit once, I'll never forget, and it was written by the writers of the show, and we rehearsed at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then you did the bit live on stage with Jay. And he did this thing about new instruments, new things.
Uh-huh.
And well, there's a new thing now. If you hit this button when you're in the movie theater, it'll knock out the guy who's making all that noise talking on his cell phone, annoying you. And here's how it works. So the two people were on the stage watching the movie, and I come walking out talking on a cell phone. He presses the button, and the hammer hits me in the head, and I get knocked out, and it gets the big, big laugh. But in rehearsals, Jay said, well, you two people do these lines. Mike, when you come out, just make stuff up, say whatever you want to say. And I looked at him, I go, you want me to do whatever I want on national television? Okay.
Really?
So I came out just talking on his phone saying the craziest, funniest, stupidest
It was
stuff.
live?
Live.
Wow.
And it was getting a huge applause, and everybody's laughing. So then Jay starts to improv too. Instead of saying, don't you hate when loudmouths come on in the movie theater, he said, don't you hate when these Italian guys from New Jersey just can't shut up when they're in the movie theater? So it's getting huge laughs.
Right.
And he goes, but here's how you take care of it. So the hammer hits me in the head, and I get knocked out. And everybody's laughing. And finally, all of a sudden, Jay goes, and we'll be right back after this commercial break, folks. How about one round of applause for Mike Marino? And he said my name on the show, which he never did.
Right.
So instead of just being like that, I looked up.
Hey.
So here I am. I'm on a Tonight Show. So you got to ask yourself a question. Do you burn a bridge by saying I should be doing stand-up? Or do you just keep doing what you're doing?
I would just keep doing what I'm doing
just doing
and
what
try
I'm doing.
for another show.
Yeah, I'll go do another show.
Because it sounds like that kind of thing where how good could he be if he's from us? It's like, like the Philadelphia comedians, when they're from Philly, get less respect by the Philadelphia clubs because they're from Philly.
Right.
You know what I mean? Let's go get a New Yorker. Like, that matters. So I think that's a case of that.
It's another thing people hand me. I'm glad you said that. People say to me, man, you must kill in New Jersey.
Right.
I'm like, no, actually, I'm another Jersey comedian when I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe not exactly. I'd like to think I got a little bit more of a rhythm because I'm not there all the time.
Yeah.
And when I do go home, I could put on big shows and do thousands of seats. But you become more of an entity in Texas,
Yeah.
in Kansas.
You're more of a rare.
Listen to him talk.
I
Oh, my
know.
God.
Yeah. Listen to that boy talk.
Yeah.
I was laughing. We were crying laughing. Me and my friend who books he owns the Irish Festival in Kilkenny, and and I'm trying to get some Lenny Clark. Remember, Lenny Clark?
Yeah.
Trying to get Lenny Clark on the trying to get Lenny Clark on the in the festival, and then finally he goes, Dom, I'm in fucking Ireland. The last thing I need is an Irish comedian. Every time I turn around, there's another fucking Irish comedian. For fuck's sake, get me a Hindu who's funny. Get me a Pakistani who, you know what I mean? So then we just started laughing about it,
Hey, I'd like to go. I never did the Australian thing. I got close one year that I was supposed to go out, and I met some Australians in Montreal.
Australia's
I
great.
didn't go. And a couple other different cities, but who knows what's going to happen.
Are you with Super Artist?
No.
Oh, I thought
Are
you
you?
were. What? Yeah, but I mean they could hook you up with Australia. Who are you with for stand up?
I just work with a company on the East Coast. I was supposed to meet with Rick Super a few times, just never went through.
Yeah, no, because they got connections. I mean, I do it through another way, but I do because I have an international agent.
Oh, yeah?
But I dig that. I like it because I wouldn't go to these places. I would never go to Adelaide when I could go to Hawaii and not even have to have a passport.
Right.
I wouldn't go, but it forces me to see something new and go to Adelaide. It's fucking it's like something ridiculous, like 17 and a half hour time difference or something, it's absurd. It's so far. You're not going to take that trip, Yeah, but if I can help you in any way with the international stuff,
Yeah.
let me know.
I just finished a new project, and I'll give you one. Take a look.
What do you
I'm
mean?
hoping we did a brand new DVD.
Oh, yeah?
hmm
Oh, cool.
I got really lucky. Did it at the Borgata in Atlantic City, full house. I even charged the people to watch the show. It's not a papered room at all.
Oh, that's nice.
I like doing it real.
Well, yeah.
I wanted to have a real audience.
Anytime
And
you give
sweeten
something
it.
for free, it's they treat it like it's for free.
I think that too.
They respect paying more.
Yeah, I
Not
always
to get
wonder,
ripped
what is
off,
that
but just-
philosophy. But I feel when people get something for free, they don't respect it.
They don't. They think, how good could he be? He's free?
Yeah,
you
even
know, we
when you
could
put
walk
people
out
on a
and-
guest list,
Yeah.
and like, oh yeah, can you get us some comps? I feel like, oh no, pay to get in.
What cracks me up is when I have some really rich friends. They want comps. My
Right.
family, who I love, my family, and they just get tickets. I go, what'd you getting tickets for? Let me get you a fucking ticket. No, I don't want to bother you. But some people bother me. This foot doctor, who I hardly know, he's a podiatrist, calls me up for tickets. I'm going, I did it once, I did it twice, and that's it. What should I do? He goes, what should I do? Should I pay for the tickets?
Yeah.
I go, well, yeah, you
Well,
know,
yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah.
Show up.
Can you get me seating? I don't do fucking seating charts. You know, like I'm in the afternoon, I've got a big show in Atlantic City. I'm figuring out the seating charts for a 1,000-seat room. No, I don't want to put them there because they're close to. Let me put them up front. I told him, you know how you get seats, good seats? You duke the guy in a tuxedo. What the fuck you think he's wearing a tuxedo for? Huh?
The doorman, a couple of bucks.
Yeah,
like
that's
this. You
all.
get whatever you want.
Well, but the way the sea opens up, and all of a sudden you can you sit wherever you want.
See, that is a little bit of a difference on the East Coast. And I used to run a show in New Jersey, and I used to tell the guy who owned the club, and that he actually should have known this. If a bunch of wise guys come here, and they're all dressed up, and they're with a bunch of girls, let them get in for free. They'll spend twice the amount of money in your club.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They're going to triple the money because
They
they're
like
going to
that
think, look at us.
big shot.
We get in for free. Here's 100.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they'll spend the money that way. You're right.
I did that too in a place in California when I was running an open mic. I told the guy, I said, a bunch of wise guys come in here and they got that look. Say, welcome to the show. It's on the house. Watch what they do.
Oh yeah.
They're going to
yeah.
turn around. Did you see that, honey? We know everybody.
It's all
an extra
ego.
$100.
It's ego. Yeah. It's.
They'll eat the food. They won't even like it. This is the best.
Get out of here,
Yeah.
kid. I had a guy once call me slugger, and he handed me $1 when I was parking cars in Brooklyn. And even then, it was a little bit of money.
Right.
He goes, "Here you go, slugger." I go, "Thanks, mister." Oh
Yeah.
boy, you're all right. You're swell. Mike Marino, thank you for being on the show, brother.
Oh, absolutely.
What do you got coming
Thank
up?
you.
Tell us.
I'll be at the
Anything after-
Irrera in Vegas. I'm going to be at the Laugh Factory in Vegas. I got a lot of different tours I'm doing at MikeMarino.net. You can log on to my website.
I'm at Dom Irrera. My Twitter, whatever the fuck it is. I'm so retarded.
I tweet too, but it's not me. It's somebody I hired to do it.
Are you
I don't
serious?
even know how to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
But you don't do the writing though?
No.
You don't do the what?
I'm like, hey, it's me. See you at the show. And she writes it.
Oh, you pay her?
Yeah.
I pay my ex-wife to do my Facebook, and people are going, "This isn't you." It's like
That's
this is
great.
too intelligent for you.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks,
Thank you.
Mike.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. See you next time.